Prepare for battle.
Should have commentated over the draft, but that's okay. So we do have on the side of blue team, which was red team last time. So from Quantive, PvP Warrior, and Valentino, we have a Adagio, Koshka, Gwen comp. So we're going to see those buffs going on to Gwen a lot, boosting her auto attack damage. Most likely going to be weapon power Gwen. And then on the side of red team, we are seeing that support Arden with the jungle Sky. So red team actually taking after blue team, going to try out that jungle Sky like we saw last game. And then we're seeing a Taka. So I think the Sky actually will be in lane, and then we'll have a Taka in jungle. Going to be interesting to see which is CP and which is weapon, because both Taka and Sky are very viable in both a weapon power and a crystal power build. We've been seeing them a lot recently in both build paths, just kind of in meta. So as we see, as both teams run out to the lane, let's see, Sky is taking the lane. Okay, so we are going to see, looks like a Crystal Taka in the jungle. That's going to be very interesting. We do have the Shirokage Taka, tier 3 in the jungle, and along with weapon power Sky in lane. So similar to last game, that weapon power Sky is going to want to just utilize her auto attacks as best as she can, and probably get that breaking point very soon and begin just stacking that breaking point when we go into the late game team fights, just kiting away constantly and just stacking. On the side of blue team, we are seeing a Koshka pick, so it's going to be very interesting. We're going to see very aggressive plays from Koshka. Against Taka, it's going to be interesting because Taka is going CP as well, so both of them are going to be very, very bursty with their abilities. Both Xretsu, Kaiten, and then on the side of Koshka, we have Pouncy Fun and Twirly Death. Going to be very, very interesting to see how those abilities clash. And then, of course, we have the weapon power Gwen. The boost from Adagio are going to be very, very nice. Koshka immediately diving onto Sky, taking a lot of damage for it, though, taking some punishment. Gwen actually, adding some insult to injury as well with her auto attack. She doesn't have too much damage right now, but her forward barrage actually does have a weapon power ratio, so she is able to do a fair amount of damage early game and kind of just hold her ground. Obviously, we do see this Arden in game or in the lane with her, so it's interesting to see. That normally we see more of a Lyra, or like we're seeing right now an Adagio in lane, but Arden in lane is definitely interesting. I guess just keep Sky alive to get her farmed up for the late game. We see that heal going onto that minion, just kind of throw off Sky's last hitting. We do see Taka and Akashka, of course, farming alone because their supports are in lane. Akashka right now going back picking up a heavy prism, some boots, and a crystal that's probably going to be working towards either a Shatter Glass. Probably a Shatter Glass first. Either that or a Broken Myth. Taka coming up into lane to do some damage. We see Arden diving in, and Taka goes in at the same exact time. He is looking like he's going to focus on Adagio, but he does not commit fully, and he actually backs away before Adagio completely goes down. When using her time to her advantage, actually 27 last hits, 2.5 minutes in. Very, very nice last hitting on the side of the Gwen. 22 on the side of Sky, very, very nice as well. So a lot better in terms of last hitting overall than we saw in the beginning of last game. So going to be interesting to see how that affects late game, how these two carries, Sky and Gwen, are able to scale into late game with this added CS, because right now Gwen has not shopped. So she may, at the 4-minute mark, go down to the jungle shop when it spawns and shop. However, right now she's just going to stick with this weapon power or weapon blade and continue with her auto attack. So we see 36 CS coming out from Gwen on top of 25 from Sky. So definitely Gwen beginning to increase and substantiate this lead in terms of CS that we're seeing in the lane here. Arden giving Sky the constant vanguards, but we will see Koshka wanting a gank here. She uses her Twirly Death on Arden. Arden taking a lot of damage. He may actually fall here, but he does retreat behind the safety of his turret. Koshka now looking for some farm. Arden is out in the open. She dives on him with this Pouncy Bun and uses Twirly Death as well. but he's still not going to go down. He is very, very tanky. He does have the life spring, so he is healing up passively whenever he is not in combat with enemy heroes, essentially. So we do see Adagio now joining Koshka for the fight. We see the boost coming on. We see the heal coming on to Koshka. Very, very nice. The staple helping heals and boost of Adagio, the staple abilities of Adagio, and we see Arden now looking for the engagement. Crystal Miner coming down after realizing that there was a threat, and Taka and Arden going to continue the rotation through the jungle. They are both fairly low, however, Koshka is not, so she is going to use that twirly death, taking a lot of damage from that Taka, wow, and she is going to just kind of play cat and mouse with him, dive in, dive out, and then we see Adagio just poking as he can, using those auto attacks, and using that very, very long range to his advantage. Adagio actually has the longest range in the game, so we are seeing him use those auto attacks to his advantage. Whenever he can poke, he is going to be doing it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the builds. Once again, we see this classic support items coming out of Arden and Adagio. We see the Fountain of Renewal coming out of Adagio and Arden. In terms of the junglers, we see fairly similar builds. We see moving into an Aftershock and most likely a Storm Crown Taka, and then Koshka going to be going probably the broken myth route, but we also see her picking up that chronograph so she can have that extra cooldown on her abilities. So we are seeing blue team push in very, very far, actually working down red team's first turret to less than half health. And now Koshka diving in onto Sky, taking a lot of damage immediately with those turret shots. Gwen now wants the damage as well. Gwen doing a lot of damage with that tension bow. The Yummy kind of frenzy goes on to Sky, who does get stunned up, or the Taka gets stunned up rather. Taka does go stealth. Koshka looks for him, but she dives back on him after he gets revealed by the flare gun, taking a lot of damage. The Fountain comes out on the side of blue team. Arden goes down as well. That tension pro Brock, very, very nice on the side of Gwen. And now Sky is left to defend her turret alone. And Koshka wants some of these minions, wants some of these back on the side of red team. She wants to just continue to push this lead. We see Gwen going back in, just getting that tension bow proc onto the turret. The turret is now at 1/3 health. Just about, and we see the Crystal Miner now recognizing the threat of blue team coming out to defend. We see Taka and Sky both now with full health, whereas we see blue team Gwen not quite at full health. So we do see a potential team fight or potential turret. No, okay, so they're not going to go for the turret. Red team, they realize that they're behind. They're playing very, very passive. They're just going to wait and farm up and see if they can make something happen late game. And let's see what they can do. So Arden and Taka. So let's see. Arden going to be working towards potentially an Atlas Pauldron to stop this Gwen, and then Taka finishing that Aftershock, and most likely the next item is going to be that Storm Crown. Meanwhile, the first turret on the side of red team will go down. It was not enough, not enough defense on the side of red team to keep it alive. Just Gwen and Adagio's auto attacks were relentless. A lot of weapon power damage. Gwen with 82 CS, 7.5 minutes in. So it's a more than 10 CS per minute. Very, very nice last hitting on the side of this Gwen. And we see with this, she's able to get the tension bow and the Sorrow Blade with the Swift Shooter and some defense components. So obviously being good at last hitting does pay off very, very much. Adagio now looking for the engagement. He does use the heal on himself. He wants to engage this. He wants to bring the enemy team close to him so he could use his Burst of Judgment ultimate ability. Actually, blue team getting clipped a little bit by the burst, or by the death from above from Sky. The flare gun coming in. The buckshot and is taking a lot of damage, and the ace is high. Actually takes out Taka. Koshka diving in with the Yummy kind of frenzy onto Sky, but the gauntlet does separate her from him. She has to dive back, and Gwen now able to take her out with her auto attacks. Koshka goes down, doing some damage from Arden, and now Arden is left to his senses. He may want to back off if he does not want to die here. He also wants to defend his turret, but he has to make the decision. He dives back onto Gwen. Gwen wants this turret, so she is targeting it. However, she is now taking damage from the turret, and she and Adagio make the decision to back off. So we saw the immediate engagement from Koshka. Gwen was able to drop Taka so low, with first using that buckshot bonanza, then about 2 auto attacks, and then the Ace's High ultimate, perfectly skill shotted, was able to get him stunned out of his stealth, actually, and then Koshka was able to dive in with the Pouncy Fun and able to take him out. So very, very nice job on the side of Koshka. And that is going to be another team fight 1. So 4-1 in terms of kills. In terms of gold lead, we do see about a 3k gold lead coming out of blue team. So far blue team set up to win this game, but still anyone's game for sure. Both teams playing well. I think red team playing better than they played last game. We see them a lot more confident. Sky now going on to Gwen, using that forward barrage to his advantage. He knows that he has a lot of that damage on the forward barrage with the weapon power. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he handles that. Moving into gold miner, blue team wants this. Red team actually not even really aware that they're taking it. We see Arden just kind of roaming around, but he has no idea that blue team is taking and actually finishes the gold mine, gets the immense payout, and that is going to be a very, very nice job on the side of blue team. So heading up into lane, we see Arden Taka and Sky kind of contemplating what to do. They've been in base for a while, trying to figure out their builds at this point. Sky looking like she's going into a breaking point, but then also not with that barbed needle. So kind of confused about what she's doing. Taka now caught in the open. He uses his boots to get away, taking a lot of damage. The Yummy Kind of Frenzy goes in immediately. Sky all the way in. The Ace's High comes in, followed up. A very, very nice stun on the side of Gwen and Koshka. We see Sky and Koshka falling. So Koshka actually does pay with her life for that initiate on the fight. Gwen just wants to finish this turret so she can fight. Turret does go down. Sky dives in, but the Burst of Judgment comes out doing a lot of damage to Taka. Taka now tries to get away with his stealth. The Scout Trap does reveal him though, and he's taking damage. He will go down due to that Sky, and now Arden is backing away smartly as he realizes that his team has lost the fight 6-2. And about a 6k gold lead now of this point emerging. So we see blue team at this point starting to run away with the game. They're getting the kills that they want. They are ahead, so they did sacrifice Koshka in order to, in order to win that engagement. However, they had the Adagio and Gwen stay alive as well. Whereas on the side of blue team or red team, we had the Sky go down and Sky and Taka go down, and then the Arden was the only one left standing. So Arden now, just kind of scouting out. He doesn't have much vision. He has one in this bush. He has one in this bush. So just kind of trying to not be like last game and trying to get some vision so he can anticipate the enemy's move. However, he does now realize with this flare gun that blue team is amongst them. Just one auto attack from Gwen is dropping Sky to about 3/4 health. Very, very nice damage on the side of Gwen right now. Here's the engagement. Koshka diving on with Pouncy Fun. Arden taking a lot of this brunt of the damage. Gwen actually diving in. Gwen wants to finish, but she's not going to. Pouncy Fun diving on this guy is actually going to drop her down. Very, very nice burst on the side of Faster. Gwen wants his kill. She's going in. She's actually able to take out Arden as well. And now the Yummy Kind of Frenzy goes on to Taka. Koshka does go down, but Taka will fall as well as a result of the massive amounts of damage coming out from those auto attacks of Gwen. And now this third turret of red team is going to fall. We do see Sky coming out right now. Arden and Taka are out in about 5 seconds. So they are going to try to go for this turret. Very, very risky moves. Arden is now up. Taka will be up in 3. They actually are able to take the turret. Gwen wants the kill though. She uses the SSI. She's able to take out the Sky. Now she's taking turret aggro. The first judgment comes out. It does do some damage to Arden. It does get blocked. Stealth now on the side of Taka. The Atlas Vulture coming out of Adagio, but he is slightly late as Taka comes diving onto him. He does have that aftershock, so he is going to be doing that damage with the auto attacks that he has after the Kaiten or the X-Retsu. He dive over Adagio with that Kaiten, and now we see him just kind of following up. Koshka's now back, though. The Yummy Kind of Frenzy coming on to Taka. She wants this damage. She wants to be able to finish here. Taka now smartly backing off with the Pouncy Fun. The Twirly Death. Taka taking some damage, and he will fall due to that last Pouncy Fun. So now Koshka is stacked up with her Broken Myth. She does have 9 stacks of Broken Myth. Now Sky is the only one left. Now Gwen is back, so now Sky is in very, very deep trouble, and she will back away. So that team fight, we saw a very, very interesting sequence of events where both teams were dead. We saw Gwen and Adagio pushing into the base, and then we saw Arden respawn, we saw Sky respawn and Taka respawn and slowly go after blue team. But as they baited them farther into the enemy jungle, they actually, so Koshka arrived and started taking out Taka, and then Gwen arrived and helped to take out Gwen. So they just, blue team, or red team was not able to close the fight. They lasted out the fight too long. In fact, they lasted it out long enough to where members of blue team could come back after their death and finish the fight, and that is why they were lost this game as well. So another game goes to blue team. Final score 13-4. The gold lead was about, I believe, 8 or 9,000, maybe even 10 at the end of that. So unfortunately, not able to keep up with red team.